Full speed.
I didn't even know that light turned on.
Figured it out. A few minutes here.
Crystal clear. No.
Look at you. I did that today. Look at the little.
You all I did was blur mine earlier. Blur my background.
And just got the template for it. Go in there and just put a background on it. Anything you want. We'll just drop whatever you want.
Canva?
Yeah, Canva.
Just search like all of Canva.
No, yeah. And we're gonna make a design, and when you create a design, it'll ask you if you want to make a like a virtual background, and it'll have the dimensions already for it. And you go in there, you can just pick whatever you want to pick. You can upload it. Like I found this locker room thing online. Got a picture in the background. That's it. And then you just upload it to Zoom. How good we go. Yeah, I just started doing the background thing, and I started doing the blur, and I was like, dude, I can just create these easy.
Yeah.
A little CTG action back there.
You guys put a good word in with the boss so I can get a better chair. Be nice.
You could just cast her.
She'll like me. What were you doing working in there anyway? I'm like, well, okay. What are we talking about?
Why are you distracting my team?
Oh, we got the Blaze here today. Oh my God. The Blaze is back.
Bless.
Man,
Bless it, man.
He was in New York, right?
Huh?
He was in New York.
yeah, something. I don't know. Where were you at again, Zach?
I was only in New York for like a day.
Nice. I saw your cooking show. Actually, I didn't see it, but I liked it.
There'll be more of that. Yeah.
I love it. The Blaze in the kitchen.
Cooking it up.
Cooking it
Bring
up.
the heat.
Bring
Are
it
you
on.
here?
What's that?
Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Where's here?
I'm actually at Altamont Celebration Title office. Just working out of here. I got an appointment in Lake Mary later on, so figured I'd get Seminole
Hey,
County.
you have an appointment with me today at 3:00 downtown.
Oh, downtown. Oh, right.
I guess we're not meeting anymore today.
Are you downtown?
Yeah.
Ah, Blaze. That's on me. That's 100% on me.
Hey, I'm here. Woo!
That's 100%. Hey man, what you do? Hey, what do you think about Altamont?
I think that I'm downtown right now.
Well, I think Altamont's a good place for you. You know, you see the locker room I got set up here for the Davos team.
Very nice.
We're gonna go like heavy sports analogies from here on out. That's what I'm thinking about.
Annie, are those your pajamas?
No, I don't know why. It's been so cold. It's not pajamas though. It's just a really cute sweater.
Just, you know.
You know they have this thing called virtual backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Who knows how to use it? I've tried and it fails.
But there's
I'm gonna
one
get
called-
you right. I'm gonna
there's
get
one-
you right.
There's one called Blur.
I don't even. Okay, let's see.
I mean, you could at least try not to be looking like you're laying in bed. I mean, it was.
I do this every time, but I am working. I promise. I promise.
Okay. Okay, you're a bed worker apparently. You know,
Yeah.
oh man, I think Justin's in bed too. This is bad.
No, not bad. COVID's no joke though.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know it. How
COVID is
deep
no joke.
are you out of it?
Yeah, well, it was 12 days of COVID. My family, my son, my daughter, everyone, we had COVID. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. I agree.
We're back. I'm back.
That's blessing.
My first day back. Blessing.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we got most people in here. I know a few of the new folks can't make it. One's in boot camp, and then Kevin's in process of switching his work schedule. But we will get started off with everybody here with some blessings. Who wants to start it off? We already got Justin's.
I will.
Blessing. Justin's out of COVID. Go ahead. Who wants to go?
I will go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I had a closing today. That's a blessing. So yay. And another blessing, and then I think this one is a really, really big one, is that I'm a very defensive person. And I think it's just my upbringing and where I'm from. And so if you come at me sideways, it's really hard for me to just like, Alexis, take a step back. It's not that serious, you know? So I'm dealing with a listing agent who is super, super rude and is going to get me like, I be having to just reel myself back in, Lexi, like it ain't even worth it, but he's super rude. So it's a blessing to just catch myself like, Alexis, it's not that serious, and just keep it moving. So I think that's a big blessing.
I love those. That's an awareness distinction right there. Like that right there is how you solve all your problems in life. It's just being self-aware and just being like, oh man, this can cost me everything. Like, and this person's not even worth it. Like, you know what I mean? Like being able to catch yourself in that moment to see that awareness, you know, and not letting like Jersey Lexi come out, you know what I mean?
No, New York, Lexi. I'm not from Jersey.
Not just, didn't you live in Jersey for a little bit? Ever? Okay. New
Born
York,
and
come on.
raised in Staten Island, New
she's
York.
about-
No.
Exactly. She's about to go off on me. She's about to go off. Oh, take a step back. Hey, take a step back. All right. That's a good one. I love it. Who else?
I guess I'll go. My listing went pending after 7 days.
7 days.
Cash offer.
Why did it take so long? I'm just kidding.
I'm shocked it went that quick actually, because
Really?
there's other ones that have been sitting on there for over a month. So I was kind of scared
What's wrong with
at
it?
first. They're just not that like great
Okay.
area and things like that. I would say I was kind of scared to leave my lockbox. One agent
Okay.
called me and was like, I don't see a lockbox on the door. And I was about to like freak out thinking that someone stole my lockbox for some reason. But he ended up going to the wrong one. So he found it. And then my Airbnb guy that we've been submitting offers, I think I submitted like 5 last week. And finally one got accepted today.
Nice.
So
Amazing.
that's 2 pendings. I'm trying to go for 2 more by the end of this month.
Huge.
And yeah.
So just a little pro tip. if you are concerned about losing lock boxes,
Typically,
and
we
I
are
usually,
located.
oh, who's that? So what I do is, keep a set of like regular like combos in your trunk. I mean, you can always use those for something, but like if the property is kind of in the hood, and you're just like, hey, like nobody's gonna care going to a hood property that you don't have an electronic lockbox, that kind of thing. You can always use those, and then don't put them on the front door. Find another secure place to put them where people can't see it. Which sounds like you did because they couldn't find it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, good stuff. Good stuff. Two pendings, two more for the month. I like where this is going. Who else?
I'll go. I ended up having an uptick, so I had like 3 referrals from my sphere that are actively searching now. So I got 2 wanting to do business as soon as possible, and a third one I'm working on figuring out what their time frame is with lending. But yeah, looking at getting them into something very soon.
Was there anything that you you think you particularly did to, or is just like,
No, it was situational for them. So they're currently it's sisters. They live together. It's like a large family thing. So they're renting a bigger home, and the situations kind of change. So she's wanting to buy and like go on her own, and the other one's kind of doing the same thing. They're both ready to purchase at this point. So it's their rental is or their rent is coming to an end, so it's time. And so that just came out of the blue. And then another one because of that from my Advent Health connections, they referred a family member, so I met with them this week, yesterday.
awesome, man.
So yeah,
I love
3
it. I
good
love it.
leads.
I love it when things are moving. I love
Yeah.
it. Good stuff. Well, Brandon came in a little late in there. You want to go ahead and drop a blessing since you came in?
Yeah, I actually had a buyer's consult, the new buyer today, pre-approved through Home First.
There we go.
Open up a new home search for her. Trying to actually get her out around 7 p.m. tonight when she gets off of work to go see a house that we looked at actually during her buyer consult. So got her super aggressive, so super excited about that. And then just personal blessing, I have my first race of the season this weekend. So
Oh, nice.
70.3 Augusta is on Sunday. So wish me luck.
What is it? What is it called?
It's a half Ironman. It's Ironman 70.3, which is the distance of a half Ironman. It's in Augusta, Georgia.
Wow. And are you, where are you at? Like, are you just like running it for you, or are you kind of in contention to maybe do something?
No. So I hired a coach about 6 months ago. My
Nice.
fitness has got significantly better sense. I have a lofty goal of breaking 5 hours, which puts me up there with my age group. I think the winners of my age group are probably going to be somewhere around 4 hours and 20 minutes, 4.5 hours. But if I can break 5, that's a pretty significant goal for just like a recreational like triathlete.
Right. Weekend warrior triathlete, if there is such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's quick. It would mean averaging like probably a 120 per 100 swim, which is a fast swim, about 21 to 22 miles an hour on the bike, and then probably like a 7.5 minute per mile half marathon. So it'll be pretty grueling, but it is a fast course. The swim is a downriver swim. The bike is just kind of rolling hills. Biggest thing is it's Georgia. It's hot. The run middle of the day is pretty brutal. So it'll be rough. It'll be pretty tough, but it's one of those A races. I have 2 A races, this one, and then Ironman Cozumel. So yeah,
It's dope.
it'll be really interesting. I feel good. I had a nice, good, it's taper week. So I had a nice casual swim, but it was actually a really nice swim today. We get off here, I have a bike that I got to go do, and then we go out of town on Friday. So it'll be interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Brandon Goggins over here. This guy.
Next year, we're going to do some crazier shit. We'll see.
Yeah. You got a book on the way. I just realized that Zach had switched his background to some like like weird bed situation. Just to
Princess
try to
bed.
just to try to fit in, you know. Well, Zach, I'm gonna let you. Has anybody got more blessings before Elias coming in heavy? Okay.
So I've been working with this buyer from out of state from Pennsylvania, and she just came down yesterday with her husband, and her son resides here. So we went on a late night showing yesterday at 8 p.m. I've been trying to schedule showings and stuff. It's been hard because, offers, you know, they they receive offers right away. And um, I've been fortunate because some sellers have been, they considered giving every buyer a chance to see the property. So I got a couple of more showings today and in the coming few days. And looks like we're gonna submit an offer this week on one of the properties. So that's
That's
good.
that's freaking awesome, man. Congratulations. How things ever end up with Kyle? I didn't know.
Kyle, actually, I texted him yesterday, and he had like a full week of work that he couldn't, reply to any of the messages or calls. So he passed on the properties that we went to see. So I'm gonna line up some properties this afternoon, and I'm gonna send them over so we can go and see them again.
Good stuff.
So-
Good stuff. All right. Who else? Anybody want to throw in before we kick it to the Blaze? All right, Blaze. Start us off with a blessing first, Blaze. Blessings, bless. Anyway, start and then you can kind of go into some mortgage stuff.
A blessing, man. These are hard. Honestly, these are really hard. A blessing. I don't know. Personal side, I just celebrated anniversary yesterday, 7-year wedding
Nice.
anniversary. That's a blessing.
I would think that's a blessing. Yes.
3 kids later, it's a freaking blessing. I'm alive. 3 girls. Got to spend some time in the city. That was cool. Had an amazing time. So it was nice to have a little break for a couple days. Business is really good right now. We're hiring a lot more people. So if you guys know anybody that's looking to get in the mortgage space, we do pay salary and bonus and commissions, which is really cool and different for somebody that's looking to kind of break into the industry, or maybe they have some background. So if you guys know anybody, friends, family, if they're in like a lateral type of business, like banking or title or something like that, it's nice to be able to get in the industry and get a nice salary. It's a 6-figure opportunity, within 6 to 12 months. You'll be at that. So blessed to have the business to be able to hire more people. So that's cool. As far as in the mortgage space, guys, it's kind of just, time to grind, nothing fancy. I don't really have any big updates on my side. We're still waiting for this 100% FHA financing program. Hasn't come out, but just keep in mind, guys, we're here for like second opinions and a little bit harder deals. I see a lot of people flipping stuff over to us, but I also see a lot of people who are hesitant. So if you guys need some like coaching one-on-one, like how do I get somebody off the fence to my preferred lender so I have control over the transaction, get with me. I've been having a lot of really good coaching sessions and classes and things going on that I could see people moving the needle. So if you guys need some additional coaching outside of, obviously what you're getting, I'm here for you as an extension of your business. Speaking of classes, I'd like to see you guys all next week. Ryan is teaching a class at the Winter Park Rec Center on the 29th. It's only for 2 hours, so it's not going to take you out of commission for the whole day, but it's called I've Got 99 Problems and a Video Ain't One. And it's going to be awesome. So Ryan's done this class before. It's scaled on a large level. There's going to be stations like how to record a video for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. You get to come out for 2 hours. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, it's just 2 hours, not an all day thing. I'm going to put the Eventbrite on here, guys. I need, I need your support, right? The more people there, the better. Come out, show your support for Ryan. He would be really appreciative of that. And that's about it, guys. Any questions or anybody have any unique scenarios they want to review? Apparently I'm the deal doctor these days.
That's right. Well, let's read. When is the call night competition?
So it was supposed to be today.
Right.
It is on. I think it's October 26th.
October 26th. Okay. So I'm gonna put that on the calendar. I'm gonna invite everybody to that. Make sure.
From 5:30 to 8.
Same location or?
Yeah, everything's the same. John Marone, everything.
Zach, I have a question for you. Okay, so if the finance contingency is 30 days, right? The appraisal comes back after the financial contingency. Okay, hold on. It comes back after, but that's not the point. The point is that we're the CD has to go out by a certain date in order for us to close on a certain date.
Correct.
Okay, so what happens if we're not able to like we're still missing some documents and we're not able to close that day? Is the buyer's lender said that there's, I forgot what he said, but it's a certain word that gives them, I think, 10 days.
Yeah, so basically what it is written within the standard contract that if the only thing holding up the closing is the ICD or the closing disclosures, 3 days, meaning let's say you're supposed to close on Friday, right? And the closing disclosure doesn't go out till Thursday, which enables the first closing day to be Monday. The contract is defaulted to have a clause that protects the buyer that the seller cannot technically back out if the file is clear to close. And the only reason the deal is closing is because the 3 days that are required have not passed yet. So you get an automatic extension for up to 10 days if the only reason that the deal is not closing is because of the consenting of the closing disclosure, but the file is clear to close.
Okay. Thank you.
Interesting.
But she has other stuff going on there. Like you're not gonna have a loan approval without your appraisal. So you could.
No. So the buyers were they thought that they had to submit the documents after we got the appraisal, but that wasn't the case. So they submitted it last night, so we should be good to have the CD out tomorrow, so that we're closing on Monday. But the listing agent said that oh well, they're like, he's pretty rude, and that he was telling the lender, well, my sellers are gonna take their deposit if we don't close on Friday. So the lender called me and was like, I wasn't gonna argue with him, but we have 10 days to I guess a 10-day period, because that's all we're missing. So I just wanted clarification. I didn't understand.
Good stuff. So let's talk about Think University, and I want to get some recaps, man. I want to get some top nuggets from the 4 people that went. We missing anybody? Got Elias, Annie, Viviana. Viviana's not here. But from the 3 that are on the call, I'd love to hear, kind of your thoughts after it, some of the nuggets that you've got, and some of the different things that you learned there that you're going to start implementing or have already implemented. And I need to hear about what happened during the competition, the appointment competition. So whoever wants to start, please go.
It was really interesting to have like a room full of people just making calls. And it was like so much going on, but you have to like focus. I ended up not scheduling any appointments. I made like 60 calls and I had one person answer, and he was like, I was just curious what my property would sell for, but I would not sell my property because you can't find this anywhere. So it was really interesting though. I've never done something like that. So I'm also really excited for call night with Zach's team. But one of the things I have like 4 different things that I took away from Think University. And one thing that I'm going to start implementing is setting goals before each call. So I'm not just calling and saying, okay, I'm going to make 50 calls today, or I'm going to be calling for 2 hours, no matter how long it takes, basically, especially days that I don't have any showings or anything else. I need to set 2 appointments, 2 buyer consults, or meet up with a seller. So that's one thing that I took from Sync. Another thing is, I don't know if anyone else struggles with this, but I try to hold on to clients no matter what. And one thing that John Marone said was, don't be afraid to lose clients. So that's another thing that I took away, because again, I'm always afraid, okay, well, that's a check, but at the end of the day, I could fire them technically and keep calling. And that could be a goal that I set no matter what. I fired this one. So I'm setting a goal that I pick up at least 1 or 2 more. Another thing that I picked up on was being myself and just being human and being genuine when I'm calling or when I meet up with people, because that people sense that, like they can see, okay, I'm selling too much, or I'm not being genuine with them. So no matter what I do, I have to get on calls or meet with people and just be myself. Um, and the last thing that I really liked, for every what, we have to go 3 whys deep. So that also helps me, because I feel like I'll lose, or I won't know what questions to ask or where am I going to follow up on. But it could be as simple as, I have a dog. Okay, well, follow up with that. Don't let certain things go. They're telling us things because they want to know. They're sharing things. And when you're being genuine, when you're being a human, you pick up on those things and you ask them questions. So the deeper you go, the better you are when helping these clients. And you're not selling, you're actually, what did he say? I think I took a note. We have to have a serving mindset, not a selling mindset. So that's another thing that I really liked.
Nuggets on nuggets. Serving. So,
By the way, that was
but that, yeah, it was.
incredible.
Yeah, and I could tell that you. I warned her before that I appreciate you preparing those nuggets, because you were like, I have 4 nuggets, so I know you worked on that, and I appreciate that. Anything else? Anything else that you thought was unique? Anything else you loved about the event? Learned about the platform? Anything?
I think just because I've been in sync for months, so I kind of knew like the labels and the buttons. But one thing that I really took away from it is utilizing the filters to my advantage, and how I can re-engage the leads that are in sync, because I feel like I've been calling the same 100, 200 people all the time. But if I can re-engage those buyers and those sellers to my advantage.
I love it. Absolutely. Gil, you want to add anything on that? I know you're like kind of the master at like identifying like who needs to be re-engaged.
First off, I salute you for going in there and being an incredible student and picking up all those nuggets. But I will say, it's like, actions get results. So make sure that you're putting that into play immediately and start getting those results from it. For those of you guys who didn't go this time, there'll be other opportunities, but don't wait, right? You just experienced it secondhand, and as far as I'm concerned, it's like, if you're in that pond, those people want to be a homeowner. They want it. By the way, that one lead you talked about a second ago, that they just, I was just curious about finding out their home. Like, be curious with them, right? Hey, that's totally cool, right? Like, just out of curiosity. I know you're not looking to sell right now, but when would you want, like in a perfect world, when would you do that? Just curious, what number are you hoping to hear, right? And then it's like, if you did hear that number, where would you go? Like, questions lead to questions, and those questions lead to commissions. So that person that says they're not ready right now, that was yesterday. Like, I don't know what happens today. I often believe that people come on our website for a myriad of reasons, but one of them could be, hey, I got to do a fight with my spouse. I'm going to go look at what a house costs, right? And all of a sudden, maybe they work things out, but then maybe they don't. So just stay engaged. Those same 100 people, you don't know that they see you. They see your effort. They see your connection. They see you. And that next call, maybe they're ready. So kudos to you, Annie. I love the fact that you went there, got so much out of it. But like, man, that was powerful.
Yeah. And one thing I would also say, Annie, is like, you know, like you said, if you're human, right, and you're just kind of listening like you would if you were talking to a friend, like if somebody's told me, hey, I wouldn't sell it because you can't find anything like this. Well, what's my next question?
I asked why. Like, what makes it so unique?
That's right. What makes it so special? He starts telling you all that stuff, and it's like, well, what do you think somebody would pay for that? You know, because it's so hard to find. Why is it so hard to find where you're at? You know, that kind of thing. It's like you can go, like you said, that 3 whys deep just on that one thing, you know, because that's what he's proud of, right? He thinks he's the man because he found this thing. He doesn't want to sell it, right? But like Gil said, when you ask him, like, out of curiosity, if somebody were to offer you a price, like, what would make you make a move? And then suddenly you're like talking about it, and then he's like thinking about it in his mind. So good stuff. I think that goes back to that kind of human aspect of just like listening and like, dude, I'm very, very curious. I'm like, oh, somebody tells me they have something that they don't think they can find anywhere. I'm like very, very interested in that. I'm like, okay, tell me why. Awesome. That was great stuff, Andy. Thank you.
I think even with that scenario, it's curious because if he's looking, is he wanting to but think he can't? You know?
He said that a friend of his told him he could get a certain amount for the property. So he was just curious if his friend was right, but it looks like his friend was wrong. So I was trying to like get as much information so I could send him like a evaluation, but he wouldn't give me any information.
Got you. Good stuff. All right. Victoria, you want to go?
Damn, Annie, you should have gone last.
Yeah, she's like,
she took all the good ones. No, I think in, like pros and cons, I think day one, in my opinion, should have been optional for people who don't know how to use the system. Cause like Annie said, we already knew a lot of the stuff. So day one was kind of like, okay, when's it going to kick in? Day two was great. I feel like day three should be 2 days because it was so powerful and so much information that we felt so overload that we were like, man, if only we had 2 days of this, we could do so much more. So that's just like my feedback on it. So for whoever goes, just be prepared that day three is like super heavy. So be well rested because you're going to learn a lot of information. But I kept telling Annie that we need to do one of those like call nights, just the team, and divide our team into 2 and do that. See how much appointments we can get as a team, like make it fun because it was a lot of fun. It got you energetic to actually want to do these calls. And it became competitive at the same time that we were like eager to get those appointments. We're like, man, we can't fail. We have to get it. Mm-hmm. So I told her, I was like, that'd be something nice for us to do like once a month as a team thing. Absolutely. For it. But
well, you're in luck because we have started a call league and you guys will be part of that call league. I'll be sending out an email to all of you guys. Andrew Brooks headed up this project. So what's cool is you're going to have a lot of practice for that. So with the call league, it'll be a competition. It'll be within the teams in the office. People can sign up as teams. And then you've also got Zach's event coming up as well. So I love that. I love the fact that, you guys got energized about that, but I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. And then one thing that I really got was like, he said, when somebody unsubscribes to something, call them and try to find out why they unsubscribed. Maybe they unsubscribed because we were sending them the wrong information. And then the fact that you actually like tried to get them to tell you, they'll want to work with you because it's like, okay, well, you're willing to make the changes. So you can just go back and resubscribe them for what they actually want. And then he was like, well, if they unsubscribe because they bought a home already, ask for the address because most people sell their home within 3 to 5 years. So if you already have their address information, you could just keep following up for your long-term business for that. So I found that really interesting because usually when somebody unsubscribes, I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll unsubscribe you too and move on. But it's like a better approach that way because you really don't know. So that was one. Another thing was using who, what, when, where, and why to get all the information. Like I never thought of that. I always think, oh man, I'm gonna run out of questions. And then I hang up the phone and I'm like, oh, I forgot to ask them who's looking. Oh man, I forgot to ask them why are they looking. So having that jot down while you're on the call, you know exactly what to ask them. Or even in your, buyer's consult, you know what to ask them because you already have those main questions there. So those were two of my favorite things that I actually like really, really grasped from it. There was a ton more, but I'll let Elias go on so I don't steal all his like Anna did.
She's mad about that. But I like the feedback too that you gave about. I'm going to reach out to Commissions Inc. and the girl that heads up there because I have been through the 3 days too, and they'd love that kind of feedback. I agree with you. I think that the third day is the most powerful thing, and if we can make that two days and keep some of the system stuff, and maybe that first day kind of a orientation kind of stuff, but like and just really focus on what matters, which is engaging more people and making the calls. I love that. So I'll make sure I reach out to her today and let her know that. So thank you for that feedback. Elias, man, you got the tough job, kid. I mean, you got Annie's been taking notes, Victoria's in the bed in the dark. I don't know what she's doing. And then, you got to come in here and you're the anchor leg.
So the 3 days have been, fantastic. Honestly, it helped me so much. I got so sorry, I'm a bit sick. Sorry for the voice. I would say that during the buyer's consultation, visiting the why is very important because I find it, to be easier for them to open up when you're in front of them and all that. So, revisiting the why is important and digging deep too, like Annie and Victoria said. Second thing I would say is clarifying their commitments, basically letting them know that, they gotta find time to go see some certain properties since, they receive offers right away.
Can you go a little deeper into that? Like you say, clarifying commitments?
Yeah.
How would you, so give me an example of that.
Well, like I said, say during showings, if they're working and all that, and they got like an hour, 2 hours free, and sometimes they might think that it's not that important or, to give you that 1 hour, 2 hours, so they won't talk about that. So basically say, you have to, I don't know how to explain this, but you have to show them what's important. So say they have 1 hour, 2 hours free during a weekend or during the work week. It's important for us as agent and client to use that hour, 2 hours to go on showings and so they can do their part and their job during the transaction so they can get the home.
Right.
So that's sort of been
so basically showing the importance of making that commitment during that time. Say, hey, this is really important. I know it's 1 or 2 hours, but if we just commit to these 1 or 2 hours, we can find you what you want. This is kind of what it takes, this kind of level of commitment in order to get what you want. Yeah. Good stuff. Did you get, well, okay. So I saw some social media and it showed that you did. So how did we do on appointments?
I had one.
You had one? That was the picture. That was the picture that I saw.
Yeah, I did one appointment.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I had one.
You had one? Nice.
Yes. Yeah, Victoria had one. Elias, I didn't have any. I think Viviana had 2.
Oh wow.
Appointments. Yeah, I think she's good with 2.
That's awesome. You guys showed out. You guys represented Davos Team well.
It's okay, Annie. It's okay because when I was there, I didn't make any appointments either. But I came back a beast. So.
Oh, yo.
Good.
Hey, Gil, did you hear that, bro? That she's starting to sound Tia-esque.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, she's starting to sound.
That's okay. That's okay because when I come back, I make calls. I make appointments. Hey, to be very frank with you guys, I went there once and I was convinced I was going to crush. I was like, I'm gonna make calls here. I'm gonna show the team that I'm gonna make appointments. Like I made one appointment, and it was like the second to last call that I made. But it was a good hour of like not making one person like talk to me. I got hung up on a couple of times, so I was sweating. Like I was like, oh, I'm not leaving here without writing my name on the board. Then I talked to this old lady, and she did not want to talk. I was like, oh, listen. I was like, meet with me. We'll have to look up a seat though. Like it was like I was not so having a kind of like relentlessness, like I'm going to make an appointment is something important to get out of this, right? Like calling with passion, calling with purpose. I mean, some of that starts with some confidence that I see all three of you got as a result of going there. And if you haven't gone yet, let us know that you want to go. We'll send you to the next one, right? But like being in that environment is so critical to your development. I'm so excited you went there. It doesn't matter if you make a single appointment there or not. It's about the repetition, right? It's about getting that practice. It's about understanding that not one person who's making phone calls ever has a true fear, right? All the fears you put in your head are not true. So just make the phone calls, make the appointments. You see in that environment, like appointments are being set, but not if you don't make a phone call. So I applaud the three of you guys. You guys, great job of taking notes, really being present. It was obvious to me that you guys paid attention. I also am I agree with your feedback. Maybe a little less on the day one, and let's put more day 3 stuff in there. I've always said that. Like I don't think I've actually verbalized it to them. So I too am going to let them know. But like a couple of you guys have not gone. If you're interested in going, we'll make sure you get to the next one.
Who on the current call has not gone?
Brandon has not.
And Justin, Brandon and Justin on this call. So we've got some new additions to the team. One of them had to switch their work schedules and couldn't make it today. So we should have 4 new people anyway coming on board.
Add something really quick.
Yeah.
For those who haven't gone either, for some reason, any client you haven't worked with will hit you up that week that you're gone and want to do it. I kid you not, all of us, Elias and Annie and I, were working non-stop that week. Like I don't think we had a break between answering the phone, submitting offers. Like these clients must have known we were gone because we were like, we'd have to run out and I would be like, you guys take notes. I got to go take a call. And then we'd go back and forth. But hey, even going just to get some offers from your clients you haven't heard of, it works for some reason.
Right. Yeah, if you need to get your business jump started, leave the state.
You know what's crazy, Bobby? Sync has like 2,000 platforms, and I would say 80% of the team leaders don't send their agents to that. I think it's such a powerful experience for them to do, especially just making the live calls and seeing it happen and just getting into that, getting past that fear. I'm excited about the call nights that we got going on with Zach and the league of I think I'm gonna try to attend a couple of those, make some calls to people and get some energy up in there too.
That's awesome. So, hey, Brandon, the next dates, and Justin, the next dates are December 7th through the 9th. December 7th through the 9th. So I want you guys to look and see if that's something that you want to do and let me know ASAP. I'll be reaching out to the other new folks joining the team to see if they want to go. But that's the next one in Atlanta. And, we'll get you guys all set for that. And maybe we can have them make some changes before then so that you guys can get even more of that call experience. So we'll get that set up. Let's see. Gil, you want to talk a little bit about you want to go ahead and announce what we're trying to do with Open Door?
We talked about it. We talked about it in the open live, the leads. We just got our first lead in today on the other team. Client lead came in the middle of the night. Alex responded to them and said, hey, I've got an offer for you. It's like, great, like send me the offer. Ben talked to the person. We're already running that lead now through getting him an instant offer. He's made an appointment to go take a look at the property. So on the first lead, person was super receptive, was open to taking the offer, open for them to come to the property. Like the people who are going through and they're having to fill out 18 pages of stuff, they really, really want to figure out how to make this work. So, just be very, very open and just make sure that when you talk to these people, that the appointments, the same goals is in place. Our goal is to get to the house, right? Say, hey, listen, we can certainly get you a instant offer, but I'm an advocate for you. Like, I don't care if they overpay for your house, right? Like, I just want to make sure that you get a good offer. The only way I can do that is by taking a good stock of, the condition of your home, the neighborhood, stuff like that. When's a good time for me to go over there and I can get that offer to you?
Did you want to talk, Gil, about, starting with the small group and who we want to start with type of thing, or you want to wait on that?
Yeah, we're going to ask for people initially for the first trial of it, and trial's probably going to take about 30 days for us to kind of figure things out. And we've already screwed up a few things. Apparently, our Alex script was kind of screwed up. But the first part's a beta, so there's going to be some mistakes in there. But we want to work with people initially who actually have taken a listing before, because again, 80% of the people who go through this process will probably end up going listing. So that first beta group is going to be restricted to people who actually have listings in the Sky Slope, who listed a property and sold it. So if you qualify, we'll let you know. But the leads should be coming this week.
Okay. And we confirmed that we're going to start with four people initially, Gil?
Yeah, 4.
Okay. So I'll reach out.
If you do have wholesale experience, but you've never listed a property and you want to be interested in this, let us know too, because that's probably the other skill set that you will need to have. So if you've done some wholesale, some flipping, you've got some experience there too, that'll offset your need to have sold a property on the MLS.
Is there going to be a education on the process?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to do a combined training process on it, but it's going to be run and gun, dude. I'm going to be honest with you, Jason. I think that this is one of those situations is you're going to learn a lot of it on the fly, being in front of people. But this is a very, very easy lead to respond to. They're super, like, the stats are like 90% of the people that put their hand up, take the call, and are receptive to an agent coming out to a house and, taking the pictures and doing what's necessary to potentially give them an instant offer. And again, 88% of them won't take the offer over the next 8 months, right? So you have an opportunity to list that property. It may not happen that day. They may want to think about it, but you've got a relationship with them. And you guys know the stats. 90% of people work with the first agent they meet. So we're meeting somebody early on in the process.
Okay. So I'll be reaching out directly to the first beta group. And, we could be having a training on this as soon as Friday. So just be on the lookout for that. I'll text you and I'll email you guys after that, so we can get that process started. But I already went through kind of an initial training there, which I'll train you guys on what I've learned so far, and then we'll start getting you guys set up. It's pretty self-explanatory, but there's a couple little nuances there that we'll go through. One thing I wanted to bring up that was kind of brought up, I think it was Victoria, you brought it up. I think you asked me, was it you or Viviana who asked me about doing their own logo?
Viviana, because she had to ask us too.
Yeah. So I've talked to Gil about this, and we've always been big believers that we're here to build you guys, right? So we don't require you to necessarily market that Davos Team unless you want to. If you want to build your own brand, if you want to build your own logo, if you want to go that route, like I know you're really great at this, Victoria, and you're like, you got great pictures and great, like, don't hesitate to do that. We just want you guys to grow. We want the business to grow. Like, Davos Team is like who we are, and that's our family, and we'll brand that, within ourselves, and we'll brand it out there. But just know that you guys have the choice to build that brand. If you want to be the triathlete realtor, Brandon, just don't be scared.
I just won't be using that disgusting blue and orange in my logo.
There you go. There you go. See,
gold.
this is, I think we're going back to that Gator stuff. But look, what I'm saying is this: it wasn't my fault. EXP chose the best colors that there are. Okay, those are actually the EXP colors. Okay, so just happens to be that maybe Glenn Sanford's a Gator. I don't know. I don't know that's true, but I wanted to clarify that and make sure that you guys knew that we are okay with that. And I appreciated Viviana for reaching out just to make sure that it was okay. But definitely want you guys to, if you want to start, we talked about Dang Dean, we talked about all that stuff. It's like, let's go full force into it, and leverage your partners. If you need some help with branding, leverage Celebration Title Group. Let's get it rolling. Let's start building some little mini empires there. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at the chat. They do a class next week. Okay, cool. Any other things you guys have right now? Any questions on deals? I know I had a good call with Annie, prior to the meeting about one of her clients. Maybe we should kind of go over that. You okay with me going over that situation?
Yeah.
Annie. So Annie called me up and said that she's got, these are out of town buyers, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, why don't you tell the story? That you probably.
So I actually, Zach, this is why I love Jocelyn. Jocelyn from Home First actually called me. She pre-approved a buyer, but they didn't have an agent. So she called me and I agreed to work with them. They were initially approved for 150, but the properties that they're sending me are 1, manufactured homes or mobile homes. 2, they were over their approval price. So they were approved for VA. So a lot of the things wouldn't qualify. So we had to rethink our strategy. And now they're approved for 175, but they are looking at things that are closer to the 200,000 price range. And I've tried telling them, like, with the way that the market is, you can't look for things over 175 and expect to submit an offer at 175 and think that it's going to be accepted. But that's kind of what they want to do anyways. So I called Jocelyn and I was like, look, what can I do? Is there any way that I can get them approved for more? And I found out that they actually have 20,000 sitting in their bank account, so they can put additional funds down and actually have a down payment. But they don't want to do that. So I called Bobby and I was like, what am I supposed to do when none of my advice is being taken into consideration? We've lost out on like 3 offers, but they don't seem to grasp the fact that we can't do what they want and think that we're going to win. And they also wanted to be in their home by October 1st. So I just didn't know how to handle that kind of situation.
Yeah, so these guys are basically out there offering 175 on $200,000 properties because they only qualify for 175. So they're showing her like, hey, just submit an offer. And so what I told her was, number one is we got to align with them first, right? The one thing that you always got to be cognizant of is that the minute you start lecturing a client, they start thinking you don't work for them. You know what I'm saying? That you're opposing them. And I don't ever want to think that. So what I told her was, let's realign, right? So I asked her to have a conversation with them. I'm sorry to start. Okay. You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. That is weird. But I told her basically go ahead and ask them to say, hey, about their time frame again. Say, hey, I want to make sure we're aligned with our goals. And I want to make sure that I get you one you want. In a perfect world, when do you want to be settled in your home? Right. And they're going to probably tell her like yesterday, we want it to be in August. Now we're going to be October 1st. Okay. So, my job as an expert here in Orlando is to get you what you want. And if I can get you, if I can get you in that home by that time, would you be willing to listen to the strategy that I think we should have? Right now, we're making offers at 200 and we're only we're making offers at 175 and on $200,000 properties. I said, we're kind of working on the wrong side of the math there because, and I told her, I said, ask an example, like, if you had a car was worth 40 grand and, 3 people offered you 45 grand and somebody came in and offered you 35 grand, which offer would you take? So it's not that I don't want to do what you want to do. If you want to submit low offers, I will submit them for you, and I told her to say that because I don't ever want them to think that you won't work for them. Right. And by the way, it takes 5 minutes to write an offer anyway. I don't want to do it, but I'm saying I will submit them for you, but it's not going to help me reach your goal. Right. And my job is to get you what you want. And like the only other strategy I can think of is to like hope that something happens in the economy where prices come down. I'm like, but if you actually want to be in the house this year, we have to compete. So if she wants to work on the right side of the math, well, she could always try to convince them to spend the extra 20 grand that they have. But they obviously are resistant to that right now. So what I told her is like, look, you're on the wrong side of the price, right? So you now need to probably look for $160,000 homes and be willing to offer 175 rather than look for $200,000 homes and offer 175. right? And so the first part of that was we got to realign with their goals and let them know that deep down in your heart, you're there to help them do that, because what you're doing is the right thing for them. They need to understand that. I'm like, I can certainly do what you're telling me to do, but we are going to continue to lose offers, that way. And you're not going to be in your house by October 1st. Definitely. Right. But, let's say we could even do the end of October. That means we have to be in contract in the next, couple of weeks. And the only way we can do that is to be competitive in this kind of market, so that's
Can
what
I
I
add
would
a few things, Bobby, too?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So a couple things. First and foremost, like just thinking you guys talk about this, it's great. If somebody has monthly debt as well, like even putting that 20 grand down, let's say we don't put that 20 grand down, but let's say they've got $5,000 worth of credit card debt that costs them $100 a month to service that debt, right? So that's a bill to them. That's money that's outgoing. By axing that $5,000 worth of debt and freeing up $100, that's equivalent to $20,000 in buying power. So be able to think outside the box like that. The other thing is saying, listen, are you going to lose a home that you love over $50 a month, $100 a month? Because people don't realize that every $5,000 in purchase price is only about $25. So it's like, hey, if we knock you up, are you going to do that? The other thing is that, the example that I give during my trainings is the real estate savings account. Guys, I have software that literally, Annie, if you were to send me a property address for a $200,000 home that you knew you can get them under contract, right? I can literally put this on a one-page flyer that shows them that if they were to spend 200 grand versus 170, how much their net worth would be greater over the next 10 years by investing in that. Because people think they're spending money. They have a budget. So when somebody says, I want to be at $1,500 a month, or in this case, they're probably want to be at $1,200 a month. Say out of curiosity, how much money do you save monthly? And they're going to say, I save probably about $500. Say, great. What if I could help you put half of that money into an account that is going to multiply your money by this amount, and then you could put that other half into your traditional savings account? And that's what you call that real estate savings account, where people think they're spending money. You put it into an investment that's going to accrue, and appreciate over time. They're going to come out a lot more wealthy. And you could do the math. You could say, hey, listen, you put $500 a month over the next 5 years into your traditional bank account, right? 500 times 60 months, that's $30,000. If you were to put $500 extra per month, which is the equivalent of 100 grand in buying power, and you were to go from 170 to 270, which is more realistic, $270,000 times 5% appreciation is 13,500 times 5 years is 67,500. If you show them these numbers, I know it's not as easy to do that because you're a realtor. I'm a mortgage broker. This is what I do every day. You can teach yourself these things. You guys can all teach yourself these things where you can think on the fly like this and be like, it's a better investment for you to put your money into a house at a very conservative appreciation of 5% than put it into the bank and earn no interest.
So Zach, I would love for you to break that down in an email for Annie. Annie, could you email Zach the entire situation and break that down? Because that's something that we can all learn to quickly do, right? And say, hey, look, here's what a bank account traditionally will earn you in the next 5 years, and here's what putting it into the real estate will do for you, at this appreciating value. And just maybe a very, very simple formula, Zach, because obviously they're going to have to explain that to the buyer. But that's huge. I mean, I don't know if you like that kind of stuff. I've turned a lot of people by just showing them the math and showing them that it doesn't make sense. Funny enough, I just got a call the other day from a guy who sold property 5 years ago. I sold him a $725,000 house in downtown Orlando. But these guys weren't going to buy from me because they were wanting to buy some condos. And I met them at an open house. They wanted to buy condos as an investment because they were from New York. But as you know, these condos have downtown have these super high HOAs. So I was like, God, man, this doesn't even make sense. And, and I was like, man, and I went home and I thought about it and I wrote out this email and I started doing the math. Okay, here's what it would cost them to own that condo. Here's what it would cost them to own a single family with no HOA. And when I did the numbers, it was a no brainer. And I sent it to them. Luckily, the guy was a high C personality and he thought it was the jam. And he was just like, all right, let's go look at houses tomorrow. And then I got in the car and he's like, hey, by the way you broke that down, he's like, that's the reason we're going to look at properties today. And I was like,
Annie,
great.
You guys got a property address? Give me a property address. I just want to show you guys something. It'll take 2 minutes, I promise.
I also wanted to say on top of that we never want to be the bad guy. So when we're doing stuff that they're pushing on, just walk them through it. Like if the search is, their lending is 175, then and they're only looking at 200, then it's time to deep dive in. Is there the ability to come up, not just doing something with their down payment, but on the lending, like what Zach said. If it's if they're looking for things and they have to stay at that 175, then you just basically say, let's find something comparable. And maybe it puts it in a place where they don't want to be, but is the market telling them what's available at that level, not you saying, well, we can't find it. So just keep tackling one issue at a time, showing them. That way you never come off like you don't want to do it, can't do it. That you just tackle it in a positive manner, like both Bobby and Zach were saying.
Bobby, can I share my screen real quick?
Oh, yeah, my bad. And while I do that, you gave me an idea, Jason, which is another thing that you can do is just do a Zoom screen share like Zach is doing with us right now with them. And I want you to show them how fast things are selling. Right. So go look at some other properties that are in that same price range that have gone on the market. Right. And just say, hey, I want to show you what's going on. And so after you have this conversation, say, I wanted to have a Zoom with you because I also want you to see what I'm seeing. Right. And then do a screen share, show them the MLS, show them, hey, you see this property popped up, $200,000, 3 days under contract. Right. Here's one that closed, actually sold for overpriced. Right. Like all the, and just show them, here's a couple, I just want you to see what's happening. And this is why I'm telling you what I'm telling you right now, and so that's another thing. Make sure you can show them as well. Go ahead, Zach.
Did that yesterday, Bobby.
Was that?
Look how fast this is. All you guys got to do is text me address. I keep telling you guys about these tools and nobody's using them. Watch this. Paste the address, press this. This is a buy versus rent calculator.
Okay.
Press show results.
Put that in the chat immediately.
Press show results. Look at this. This house at 199,000 that we want to get them off the fence on, right? So they want to be at what? $1,200 a month, right? The reality is that this payment based on this, it's super cheap. I've got 17. This is the actual payment of the particular house. It's actually only going to cost them $1,131. I don't know what kind of rate is in here. But my point is that forecasted appreciation for that neighborhood is 4.27% after 9 years. They have $176,000 more in their net worth. Like it took me 2 seconds. You guys can literally send me an address. I can go to export and I could even put your guys' logo on it. I could add a co-brand, download a PDF, and I could have it in your inbox in less than 2 minutes. And you could show somebody, oh, look. I could send this over to you. I could even have your picture on the top up here if you wanted to.
All right. Is this a tool? Is this a tool that only you can get into? Sort of kind of. Okay. So that's cool. So next week, I want to you to go over this because it's a lot, you see the columns, you see the graphs, and we only have, I know we don't have a ton of time to do it, but like I want you to definitely do a quick little training on this because I think that's super valuable to have for somebody who's on the fence. It's like, oh, I might rent, whatever the case may be. You cool with that, Zach?
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, can all the lenders at Home First have that? Do they have access to that too? If I can't reach you, can any lender at Home First?
I'll share my logins with everybody. Not everybody pays for this software, but yeah, I can get it to them.
That's tough, guys. All right, so let's be.
I have a quick question that I would need help. I would like help on. So how often are you, let's say if you have called somebody in, you have somebody in your pond, you've called them the first time, you made a great connection, right? But then it's like you keep calling them, they're not answering their phone. So when do you say, all right, this is just, I guess they're not interested anymore, and then put them back in the pond? Like, what is there a specific time? Is there like, there's a few of them in my pond that had great conversations, but I can't get in contact with. They're not answering my calls, my texts, emails, anything.
Is your platform, are you filled up with, go ahead, Gil.
All right, so I'm going to assume that you took them out of the pond and put them in your personal pond because you had a conversation that led you to believe that they're going to buy in the next 3 months. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's the rule we're all following, right?
Yes.
So you would have to believe that something changed, right? That something somehow now no longer, and remember, you have the why, right? You're going to put them in your pond if you know why they want to move and when they want to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would have to believe that changed. So if they were buying a home because they were pregnant and the kid was coming, but you couldn't get them to answer the phone because maybe they were at appointments or maybe there's some things going on, like, I wouldn't give up on that person. I would send them a bomb video, right? And track whether they're opening the video, or try a different way, try a different time. But I would never say to myself, like, somehow that need changed, especially if I understood the need, right? So like there's some needs that once they happen, they're not going away, right? So if they were buying a house because they had a baby, they were buying a house because they're getting married or they're going to buy a house, because those needs don't normally just go away.
Okay.
So don't give up on them because they're just unavailable. Just try different times, but definitely some of you guys haven't logged in bomb in quite a while, right? And I frankly told Bobby we should start deactivating people. But maybe you just needed a reminder. But for every single person that you can't make contact with them, send them a bomb with their name so they can see that it's you. They can see their name on there. They'll press on the button and you'll immediately have activation with them. You'll get a text message that they're looking at the video. And you can start, redeveloping that relationship. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank
Can
you.
I also share something?
Yep.
I learned at Sync because I've had similar situations where I've connected with people and then they've like ghosted me. I recently lead in Sync. He's the dad and lives in Texas. His son lives here in Winter Park. And I would like text him. I've been sending him homes. I knew that he was at a ranch with his family. So I was like, hey, like, how did the ranch re-engage your lead? So literally during Sync training, I sent out 3 text messages to try and re-engage those leads that like ghosted me, and he responded. So it was literally something that like I did something where I was being human. Like I was like, okay, like how did your vacation go? I got nothing. Like you're not answering my calls. But when I was like, hey, I'm just following up, like I see that you're looking at things. Is there anything additional that I can assist you with? That's when I finally got a response from him. And he was like, sorry, things changed with my son. I think that we're going to have to look in a different area. Can you start sending me things in that area instead of Winter Park? So I was able to re-engage him after that. And like Gil said, something did change and I was able to figure out what it was to re-engage that lead.
Great job.
Yep.
Great job. Listen, guys, like we don't know what's happening in people's lives, right? They could be beefing with their spouse and they could be stressed out with their job. They could be having some health issues, right? They could have COVID right now. And we're thinking in our feelings that they're just ghosting us, right? Like we had this great talk and now they don't want to take my call. Like, daga, right? But the reality is the need hasn't changed. We just have to change the method of how we were communicating with them. By the way, we used to have it in our email campaigns that if somebody didn't answer the message after 7 times, we would ask them if they died. It's like, hey, this might be my final email. I wasn't sure if you passed away. We took it off. It was really effective. But something like that, it's like, hey, just want to make sure you're okay. I haven't heard from you in a long time. I hope you haven't been eaten by the COVID monster. Might actually work. Smiley face, right? I'm just checking up on you. I haven't heard from you in a long time. I hope you didn't get eaten by the COVID monster. Smiley face, right? Like look at a way to kind of change the pace, change the feeling, change the delivery. right? If you're texting, email. If you're emailing, video texting. Like, look at different ways to reach them at different times. And, you know, there's a spot that I think that everybody here will agree, right? If somebody's been calling you for a while and they've been calling you for a while and you keep missing their call, like in the beginning, you might be okay with it. Then some guilt will stick in. They're like, damn, I should probably call this person back. And then like sometimes they just stop calling you. You're just like, okay, well, you don't really realize it. But if you stay persistent, I believe, especially if you took them out of your pond and you know their story, I believe it's worth it.
Awesome. Well, good stuff. It is 3:05. We'll end it here, but be on the lookout for the emails for the first beta for the open door, and I'll send out some information also on the next sync you dates. So appreciate you guys. Great week. Thank you for all the nuggets to everybody that went to sync you, and let's go crush it this week.
Sounds good.
Bye.